Oh.
Okay, guys. At some point in your life, you will have all been to the best toilet that you have ever been to. Think about that for one strange moment. You'll have all been to the best toilet you have ever been to. And yes, we are calling them toilets. Number one, because we are British. And number two, because there's no baths in them. So I don't know why you call them bathrooms. We'll have all been to the best toilet. And if somebody asked you, hey, how was that toilet? You would have probably said, yeah, you know what? It was a pretty good toilet. You might have even said it was the best toilet you have ever been to. But, unprompted, do you think you would share that toilet on Facebook? Do you think you would go live on Instagram and tell the world that you have just been to the best toilet ever? Probably not. But what if that toilet looked like this?
Right? I love this. This is so funny. If I had gone to this toilet, I would have come racing out as slow as I can walk. I would have come racing out, and I would have been like, oh my God, guys, you need to go check out these toilets. In fact, girls, you need to go in and check out these toilets. And if there was no one around, or even if there was, I would still probably take a picture to share some people. Now, the point is, these toilets are very bog standard, pun intended. They're no better than every other toilet out there. They're not the greatest toilets imaginable. They're just an average toilet urinal. But I want to share it. I want to share it because it's completely different to any other toilet I've ever been in. And thus, it is remarkable. It stands out from all the other toilets, and I want to share it. And that's what we want your business and your content to be like. This toilet. Bear with me. Because there's only two ways to stand out in the world. There's only two ways to stand out. Now, the first is to be better. Better than everyone else. Be in the top 1%. Be the best in your industry. And that's easier said than done, right? To be the best. I know you've all learned a ton of stuff this week to be the best at what you do. But is that good enough? Because there's always going to be bigger brands out there that have been doing this longer than you, that have bigger teams than you, more of a reputation than you. They have bigger budgets than you. They're able to spend money on whatever they like, the highest production costs. They have bigger audiences than you to get traction. And they can dominate search. They can dominate search. There's no chance of you being on page 1 of Google for that really competitive search term that you really want to be on page 1 for. You've got no chance. And not only that, but on Facebook, they can spend millions of pounds on loads and loads of amazing content. And how are you ever going to keep up and catch up with these people? It just seems overwhelming. And you've got no chance. It's impossible. Statistically speaking, it's impossible for you all to be the best in your industry or to be better than everyone else. So there must be another way. And like the toilet, there is another way to stand out. And that is by being different. So rather than being better, you all have a chance to be different in a way that is remarkable, stand out, and that will get people sharing, backlinking to you, commenting, sharing on social. And this is what we want for you guys. Because if you haven't noticed, we're living in a world of content shock. Okay, as Mark Schaefer calls it. The amount of content that we can consume has slowly been going up and up and up, and that's great. But there's still only a finite amount of content that we can consume in our day. I haven't even had a chance to catch up on the latest series of Netflix.
He hasn't even seen Stranger Things. What the hell?
I'm sorry, guys, and I've not watched the last series of Games of Thrones either.
How are we friends? I don't know.
I know. I apologize. I'll get there one day. But never mind that. I don't have time to read all your content. And why would I? Is it the best? Now, this is the amount of content that's being produced. And it's going up and up and up. And not only is it going up and up and up, it's getting better and better and better, which makes it super, super hard, super competitive. And what the hell are you going to do if you're in this zone? And we call this zone the danger zone. And if you're in the danger zone, this whole content marketing thing, it ain't going to work out for you.
Nope. In the danger zone, you get no new viewers or readers or listeners, which means you get no new leads, which means you get no new business. And that, guys, sucks. So it's our job as content marketers not just to create content, but to create content that escapes the danger zone. Now, you thought you had all just walked into another breakout session, but you haven't. You have all walked into the danger zone, which is our brand new game show, and you are all in grave danger.
Dun, dun, dun.
So let's meet the contestants, i.e. you.
All right, so who wants to be the brave first volunteer to introduce themselves to the rest of the room? Can someone put their hand up? Anybody? One person.
This person here, I saw them, I caught them.
Okay.
I'm going to go roving Mike style. I've always wanted to do this.
Raise your
Which way
hand.
can I get through? I'm going to have to get through somehow. I have to go all the way around this way.
Should have gone off this side.
Could you
All right.
please tell everyone here your name and what you do, please?
My name's Christine Perizzo, and I'm a freelance B2B technology content marketing writer.
Christine.
Yes.
Thank you, Christine. Round of applause for Christine.
All right, Andrew, I'm the next person. We want to get through everyone.
Actually, pal, we've only got like 40 minutes left. I don't think we can
All right.
meet everyone in this
All right,
room.
I'll tell you what we'll do. All right, we'll get everyone to introduce themselves at the same time.
Good idea.
All right, okay, so on the count of 3, we want everyone to say their business name and what they do. Now, nice and loud so that I can hear you, all right? On the count of 3, business name and what you do. 3, 2, 1, go. Everybody? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, shut up.
All right, yeah, no, sorry. Guy at the back there. Was it Bob? Barry? Mark? Brian? Bananas? I have no idea. I'm sorry. And lady at the front, I'm sorry, I have no idea what you do. I'm sorry. Because I couldn't hear you. You are all blaring into this noise. And it's like a nice metaphor, isn't it, for the state of content marketing. We're all shouting the same message, and we're all blaring into the same noise. But yet, Christine, was it Christine?
Christine,
good. Christine was the one that stood out because she was brave to be different, okay? And we all want to be a little bit more like Christine.
So, how are we going to escape the danger zone? Well, Christine's going to help us all. So, Christine, pay attention. There are 3 keys hidden throughout this presentation, and it's your job, Christine, to spot these keys, right? Each key has a photo attached to it, and we're going to come to you at the end of each level, and if you can tell us what was on that key, we can progress to the next level. If not, the doors are locked and none of us are going to lunch. All right, so pressure is on, Christine. Pay attention, pay attention. Now, we're going to have some fun, but we are actually going to learn some stuff too in this session, which is great. So we've got a brand new marketing model to teach you, because every presentation needs a new marketing model, doesn't it? And thankfully, all from the UK, I packed our random marketing model generator version 1. So shall we see what we got for you?
Let's go for it.
Give it a second. It's a bit jet-lagged. The pyramid of remarkability. This is what we're going to teach you.
Hang on. Everyone has a pyramid these days.
You're not feeling
It's a
the
bit
pyramid.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
All right, okay. Let's try something else. Okay. Give it a sec. The sexiest Venn diagram of remarkability. Are we feeling that?
It's sexy, but I don't think it should be a Venn diagram.
Okay. Third time lucky. Here we go. The remarkability trifle.
Yeah.
Are you feeling the
I like
trifle?
that.
Is that all right?
Yeah, the layers, wobbliness at the bottom. I love it.
Okay, we got 3 layers for you guys. So if you can master these 3 layers of the trifle, if you can make the perfect trifle, you will create content like you have never created it before. Content that does stand out, content that your boss loves, content that people can't help but share. So are we ready for the first layer? The first layer is ideation.
Of course. Now, if you want to create remarkable content that is going to grow your audience faster than ever before, you're going to need some pretty darn good ideas, right? And this is where ideation comes in. Now, we see content in industries, we see 2 different ways, and this is where we need to start, okay? Now, there's 2 different types of industries. there's content-rich industries, which is industries whereby if you talk about how you do what you do, people are always going to be interested. For example, we do marketing. If we talk about how we do marketing, our future potential customers are going to be interested. They'll follow us. We can grow our audience. However, it's very saturated. Now, the other type of audience is content-poor industries, or boring industries. Okay, the types of industries whereby if you talk about how you do what you do all the time, you're going to blow the pants off people, and you're going to end up in the danger zone. And we don't want that.
So there's two remarkability issues here that we need to conquer depending on what type of industry we are in. Let's start with content-rich. Has anyone ever felt like this? I just wish that there was another marketing podcast about marketers, interviewing marketers about marketing, because I've looked on the podcast app and there's just none of those around. I can't find them. I'm hoping the British sarcasm is coming through here because obviously it's just saturated, and this is the problem with content-rich industries.
If you have unoriginal delivery as a content-rich industry, you're going to end up in the danger zone. You're going to end up like that blurred noise. Why would anyone listen to you when someone else has been doing it for much longer and they're doing it much better than you? How can you deliver? So what we need to do is deliver our content in a way that's slightly different to all the other marketing podcasts. We have to think about what we can do to put a little spin on it. Something that's going to make people want to watch it instead of their favorite podcast. So our good friend Ben Roberts, he's just launched a podcast, and I love what he's done with it, because essentially it is just a marketing podcast talking to other marketers, talking about marketing things. However, what he's done is he's put a little spin on it, what we call a content stamp. And it's all about debunking the world's most overused, jargony buzzwords. And he has this complete debate with people, and they have to battle to protect their favorite buzzword. And it's actually really fun and really informative. And because of this little twist, little spin, it's really easy to share and to spread and to talk about and to tell everyone, just like we have. And every single month, from a standing start still, he has grown exponentially every single month. Every month has been a record amount of downloads for him, and it's been incredible.
So this is what we want you to remember, guys. If you're just playing follow the leader, you're always going to be one step behind. And we're kind of sick of this mentality of looking at people in our industry who are further ahead of us and using their success as the blueprint for ours when it comes to content, right? We don't want you to do that. You're always going to be one step behind. Instead, we want you to do this. We want you to follow the leaders of the medium, not the industry. So if you want to launch a rocking podcast, look to see who is absolutely rocking it in the podcast world. If you want to launch a YouTube channel, look at all these awesome YouTubers. What are they doing? And then break that content down into what we call the bare elements. A little example story here so you can kind of see this in practice. We too wanted to launch our own podcast last year. And yeah, we didn't want it to be another show about marketers, interviewing marketers about marketing. So we said to ourselves, rather than binge watching or binge listening to a ton of podcasts about marketing, who do we actually really look up to in the audio world? Whose content do we actually really enjoy listening to? And we landed on this guy. Any Brits in the room know who this is? No. This is BBC Radio 1 DJ Greg James. And every single day, we drive home from the office listening to Greg James's radio show. And we thought to ourselves, what if we used that as the inspiration for our content? So we started looking at the games he played, how he held people's retention, his editing styles, his collaboration styles, and we thought, what if we modeled our podcast on something completely separate to our industry? What would that look like? And so we launched the Andrew and Pete Show. It's a marketing game show. It's really fun, and it's basically modeled on how Greg James interacts with his guests. We had people like Amy Landino and Janet Murray spitting water all over the mics. We had Mark Schaefer in a Batman mask, and we did almost kill Kim Garst. She's not dead. Promise. She's still alive. But almost.
Have you seen her around recently?
No. But it was something completely different because of that.
So that's what you need to do if you're content rich. You need to create that little twist. Now, if you are content poor, or in other words, boring, the problem here is if you talk about how you do what you do, you're going to end up in the danger zone because it's just not interesting. How can you ever build an audience talking about something that people just aren't interested in? And if you're talking about yourself, you're probably just being a little bit salesy. And again, that isn't very interesting all the time. So we tried to think of some examples, didn't we, to illustrate this point. We tried to think of the most boring of examples. So the idea is that instead of talking about how you do what you do, you need to talk about what your product or service allows people to do. So let's get to those examples. The very first one is paint. Now, there's literally a metaphor about watching paint dry, is there not? Being incredibly boring. So we thought this could be a good example. Now, if all you do is talk about paint all the time, how you can use paint, hey, look at this color of paint. It's going to be incredibly boring. How can you build a loyal audience of future potential customers ready, dying to buy from you? It's really tough. So instead, you need to think about what else you can talk about. And what does paint allow you to do? Well, it allows you to have a beautiful looking home. So what if we created content about that? Well, that's exactly what Farrow and Ball did when they launched their blog, The Chromologist, which teaches people how to have the most beautiful looking home. It teaches them all about interior design, all about color matching, all about how to have a cozier house this autumn. And because of that, they have grown this incredibly loyal audience of subscribers that is dying to hear about their latest stuff. And you know what they're going to do when they want to redecorate because they've been so inspired? They're going to buy the Farrow and Ball paint.
What about coffee? Super competitive industry, and if we just talk about coffee all the time, then that's going to get boring quickly. So ask yourself, what does coffee actually allow you to do? Well, pretty sure coffee does fuel the world, but one of the things that it allows people to do is give you energy to do more. So can we create content around that? Well, that's exactly what a kind of local coffee company to us, Bruce and Luke's Coffee, did. They launched a Facebook page, and they create content around what coffee allows them to do. They've got this awesome hashtag Coffee Made Me Do It, and their brand ethos is all around grabbing life by the beans. How awesome is that? So we kept on seeing this content. We thought, God, these guys are killing it. So we called them up, and we said, guys, tell us, like, what's this all about? And they said, well, we were just like every other coffee company. And then as soon as we started doing this, things just exploded. We became the Justin Biebers of coffee. We couldn't go down the street without being recognized as those coffee guys. And yes, coffee is part of that content, but it's not what the content is necessarily all about. They're going axe throwing, they're jumping into lakes, and they're suddenly creating this super engaging content based around what coffee allows people to do.